Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to episode number, I think it's 54 actually.
54 sounds about right.
I think I put 53 in the description just a minute ago, but I think it's 54.
Just confuse yourself.
Absolutely. So, but looks like this time we have everything set properly. So we're running on correct cameras,
Excellent.
correct microphone.
That makes
and
a
we're ready
difference.
to roll. So welcome everyone again. So we are live from the Hearns office store in Melbourne CBD.
That's right,
in
in
Australia. So there's quite a few people joining us. So as usual, we've got our usual car at the front here.
That's right. We've got our car of the week. So car of the week, if you don't know, we just need you throughout the show, just give us an idea if you can pick it. So the brand of car, the model, and anything special about this particular car, because this is actually a racing car. So you can give us the details of the particular race. That'll be good too.
Absolutely. And so we have quite a few people joining us. So Rob, hello, welcome. Anthony. Anthony's already guessing it could be a Cortina.
Oh, really? Oh, he knows his cars, doesn't he?
Yeah, that gives it away a little bit. Rob is suggesting Cortina 65. Do you know what it is? Let's see the instruction. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Well.
Right, and after checking the cheat sheet, yeah, that's pretty right,
yeah,
isn't it?
I think you're very close. So what else are we going to do today? Got lots of stuff today.
Okay, so I think we're going to attempt to grow some crystals.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe we'll do that now because it might need a bit of time.
Yeah.
So let's just quickly go into it. So we recently got in a whole heap of green software.
Yeah.
So restocked, and we've got the liquid frost back in the stock. Now the liquid frost is a saline type liquid, but they've mixed something in it. So I don't think it's just normal salt. There's something else in there. And when you apply it onto something, it grows crystals that look like frost. So got this here. Might as well get the other camera going. Get
yes.
Let's see when there's a zoomage.
So this is what we prepared a few weeks ago.
That's right. So you see there. So you can imagine that. That's with the liquid applied, and over time it's grown into these crystals. Now they're pretty big now because basically what you do is after the second and third application, the crystals grow bigger. Okay, and there's a little bit here which were applied earlier and dried really quickly. So the quicker it dries, the smaller the crystals are going to be. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply some, and then throughout the show we'll see what sort of crystals we get grown, if it can happen within this time. So let's just apply some here. I've already shaken this up, and we'll stick it on this corner here. Okay, I'll spread it out a bit, give it a chance to dry quickly, like across the hour, and we'll see what happens.
So you only need a very tiny drop, isn't it?
Yeah, it only needs a very little bit. So let's see. Is that going to focus up? Not too close. How's that? All right, so I've just applied it over here. So that's a little wet drop. And hopefully, if they can dry up, we'll start getting some crystal development. Okay, so as you can see, there's nothing there at the moment. So this is a bit of a magic show.
So last time we did it over the weekend from memory.
Yes.
And we left it, there was hardly anything.
Yep.
And by the time we came back on Monday, it was this, effectively.
Yeah, it was like a living organism. It was scary, really.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's pretty gigantic. That's pretty impressive. All right, so I'm just going to pop it aside and we'll keep going. And then towards the end, we'll have a closer look.
All right. So today we have, we'll talk about the TRX4 Traxxas. We've got a new gearbox here that we may do a bit of an experiment to see if we can install it and have a talk about this. We're going to have some train. We're going to have a Bachman crane, which is pretty cool, actually. It's fully functional wagons with Marlin.
Yep.
And then we're going to talk about, what else? Some slot car stuff.
Yep. So we're going to open up slot car, have a look at that.
And some new paints
from
got some Mr. Color.
Yep.
Oh, Mr. GSI.
Yep. It's a new paint system. So talk about that. And what else? We've got a very special kit that we're going to open up, which is actually, you can see the open boxing of it right now on YouTube, but we'll open up and give you a quick look at it as well.
That's right.
So that's a new Tamir 148 scale Phantom, which is just about to be released in Japan, and it'll come out a bit later for us. It could be available in the States at the moment.
Actually, it's going to arrive next week.
Is it? That quickly?
So, I just spoke to the supplier, and they suggested they will probably arrive next week.
Okay, there you go. So, sooner than we expected.
Yes.
Okay,
so very soon.
All right. Okay.
I'm going to pop the link of the review on the chat here.
Yep.
For everyone to have a look.
Yep.
So
it's really nice.
Very extensive unboxing.
Yep.
So all the bits, we went through every single detail.
Yes.
So we're going to do a shorter review just now.
Yeah, be really quick.
So it'll be a bit of a faster review. Should we have a look at that, or should we start with something else?
Oh, why not?
Let's
crack it open.
Yes.
Right, here we go. So we got sent one of these plain boxes from Tamiya. This is one of their pre-production models, and it's really impressive. Let me try and find some of the bits that. These are probably the most impressive parts here.
All right.
Just here.
Here we go. So let's zoom out a little bit.
Yep.
Here we go.
Okay, so this is the F4B version. This was the first of the mass-produced Phantoms used in the Vietnam War. So this is all brand new tooling. Excuse me. So we'll see here. So the fuselage section. So you've got one full section here for one side of the fuselage, and then the other side is split. So the idea behind that is so they can mold in some finer details. The surface detail is really, really fine. It's not typical Tamiya.
Yep.
Typical Tamiya is they make a very deep panel line, so it's easy to detail up. This is so fine with so many rivets in it that it looks incredibly scale when it's built. So they don't look oversized. These are actually very fine scale. And to do that, they've made quite a few parts so that the fine detail can be replicated all the way through. Because usually when you do just a two-piece fuselage, when it gets to this point here, because the mold is going this way, you can't actually get all the rivet detail this way. So top section is a separate piece.
Wow.
And they've also designed it so that these all match up with panel lines, because the worst thing about these is it's great having fine detail, but if the joints don't match up and you're putting all this putty, the putty covers everything.
Everything.
Yeah. So the engineering is really spot on to make that work. You'll see here too that you've got this little rib here that supports the vertical stabilizer.
Wow.
So that helps just making everything
fit properly.
Yeah, because otherwise you'll be butt joining it along here, and that's the old days where you're trying to line it all up. You know, it's always a bit wonky. Same thing with the wingtips. So you can either have them bent wing or deployed wings. So you got your wing section here. You got the top sections, and you see there's a cutout here. At this point here, you can see where there's like a panel line mark. This is where you choose which insert you put in for
different
which wing. Okay, and because it's an insert, it stabilizes both sides, so it's very strong. Whereas some other brands, you butt join it here, and you're just going a little bit of movement, and it all breaks off.
Yeah.
So very clever.
Very fine. I'm noticing all these parts really thin as well.
Yes,
so everything is really crisp and fine.
I guess with fine panel line, we'd normally compare that to Hasegawa, and Hasegawa generally has really thin. So, and Tamiya, on the other hand, generally design theirs to be quite thick for stability. And what you find here is you got a lot of ribbing here, so they made it quite thin.
Yep.
But the ribbing is there to increase
it.
That's right. Okay, so that's really firm across here. Because all this ribbing here is not going to do anything. You're not going to see any of this for detail. It's all there for structure. So they're the main differences there. So, but it's a box full of
parts,
lots of parts. Okay, so we're going to let you watch the review to see absolutely everything. But for a 48 scale kit, this is jam-packed.
There's there pilots as well in there?
Yeah, so the pilots are a nice touch because a lot of kits don't come with pilots anymore. This particular part here, so this is the horizontal stabilizer, all molded in one piece. And these are actually are movable after you apply them, so they move like the real one.
Wow.
Up and down. Over here, these are those panels that support the wingtips. And then the other parts that are quite interesting are the clear parts, which I think I've got hidden down the bottom there somewhere. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's an unbelievable kit. So I guess the last kit they did was an F14, which was impeccable, and also the lightnings. They were amazing.
Yep.
And this is just a next step along. So we can already see that there's various bits in here. So other versions are probably going to be released in the future.
Yeah. And I believe Work is working on some detailing parts for the F-Series plane. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Some switches and a few things.
Yes.
And I guess we will probably have them in 48 scale as well. So it'll be potentially a nice addition from the Hearns workshop to have detailing parts for this model as well.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, that'd be a nice touch.
So hopefully we can have them ready by next week when we receive this kit, and we can have them included
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And then, so we've got the kit that we had a good look at, but we're going to actually do a construction
Yes.
test as well. So we'll put this together
That's
and
right.
we'll just show you how fine everything is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a construction video probably later next week. There'll be a
Yes.
few stages.
Yeah, that's right. So it'll take a little while
Few
to
hours,
build,
yeah.
but we'll put it together and we'll show you how good it is.
Brilliant.
All right.
Very good. All right. So I guess we should come back to the car.
Have we got any more takers on the car?
Now, the car had a really quick start, and Anthony is suggesting there is an easy one this week.
Yeah, I guess so.
So I think we've got most of the details. So between Rob and Anthony, they suggested it's a Cortina 1965,
which are correct.
which is very correct.
Yep.
But there's a bit more to that, isn't it?
There is. So it's from a particular race.
Yes.
Yep.
So
So
let's
I
see
guess-
if we can pick that one.
So which race, and if you can, which drivers
Yes.
would
actually.
be amazing.
Yes.
Mm.
Here we go. So it's a Mark II. So there's a Mark II. And so it's a Mark II apparently.
Right.
Is
Is it?
Cheat sheet. No, doesn't say that.
So that, no,
It
okay.
doesn't say in the box, but most likely Flying Amber has a good idea on what this may be.
Probably.
So very good. So
All right.
moving forward, should we have a look at the new paint system?
Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, so these just arrived today. So what we have is we've got 4 sets of lacquers. So lacquers being the solvent-based paints. They're quite popular at the moment because they're very easy to airbrush. They dry very quickly and they're very tough. Now, something that's been quite popular within the armor modelers is modulation. So modulation is basically you've got the same colors, slightly different tones to give highlight and shadows before you add anything else.
Right.
So the idea is simply because the scale model is smaller than full size, but the lighting you're putting on it is much broader than it would be naturally. So if you only paint it all one color, you don't get the natural shadows that you would expect from a full size. So modulation allows you to put in artificial shadowing and highlighting, which emphasizes the three-dimensionality of it. So they've got 4 colors in each one. They really look very similar. There's very slight differences.
So let's turn them up and we put them on the top camera. Actually,
Yeah,
so we
sure.
can have a good look at what they are.
Okay, so you've got your gray tone. You've got the Russian type system. You've got a American green system, and then you've got the German dark yellow. So you can see there's the 4 very slightly different tones that is included in each. And it might give a better idea if we go here. So when you see the front, let's see if we can zoom in. We'll do this, get closer. Let's stick another one over here. Here we go. All right. So hopefully you can see these are basically just modulated what they've got painted here. So you can see the highlights. So generally each panel you've got from one side, you've got the dark all the way to the highlight on the other end. And you do it for each panel and it gives this really high definition type of depth that you wouldn't normally expect. It's probably more noticeable on this gray one here. Okay, so this is all the one gray with the 4 different modulation colors on it. And it's become quite popular. So rather than mixing up your own sets, you can just get them like this.
That's right.
And it's a tried and true method. And they come with little instructions inside. So when we open them up, so you get your little manual there. 4 colors. As you see, I think they use the same cap for each one of them, but they are slightly different. And that's your basic steps.
In clear Japanese?
Yep, in very clear Japanese. So first step is you do your base coat. Step 2 is you do your highlights. And then step 3 is shadows and the blending. Because when you do your highlights, that's incredibly high contrast. And so you just want to step it back a bit. And so you can go with whatever shade you want to start with. So with 4 shades, you'll be able to do quite a variety of armor, even with aircraft, and have 2 models looking totally different.
Right. So that's how the team
Oh,
looks
there's
like.
step 4, sorry.
Oh, there's more steps.
Step 4 would have been helpful. Okay, so your first tone, your second tone, your third tone, and your fourth tone.
So it looks like this paint have a specific code. So they will become available probably for sale individually as well.
Well, I don't think so, because generally these sets, they don't have them individually.
No, they have a code. So
They do have a number though.
They have a number, so we'll see. Well, there is a possibility that is, but I guess if we open them up, you can see the contrast. So that's
so
probably the light, and this is possibly the darkest.
It's interesting to see how they've changed it. So you can see that tone there. They've got that orangey brown tone, and this has got the yellow tone in it. This one's got the white tone,
and this is kind of
this one's got a pinky tone.
Yeah.
So that's how they differ. So so that's very interesting how they've done the modulation systems.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So rather than just trying to guess, you've got something that's preset and it's a system that works. And then from there, you can either continue on with the system or you can just mix your own from what you've learned from this.
Brilliant.
So the GSI, or otherwise known as Mr. Hobby, modulation sets. So there's 4 to choose from, and they'll cover pretty much all the military type genres. So from there, what do we got?
So do green stuff.
Green stuff. Oh, I've got a little bucket of green stuff.
So we finally received another big delivery of green stuff. Finally a lot of green stuff this time around.
So that's it. That's the famous green stuff. Okay, so the green stuff is available in different lengths. You get the really short 6-inch, there's 12-inch, and then there's longer sections. And then there's also the big bar if you use a lot of it.
Tube,
So green stuff is very popular with the remodelers, war gamers, miniature builders. The advantage of this one compared to other epoxy putties, most popular being milliput, is it's got a very, I'll call it a plasticky and a sticky feel. So it's quite often used for high detail or smooth areas that you want to remodel. And it also works very well with brown stuff. Now, brown stuff is something we haven't had for a while. So it works similarly, but it is a harder material. So it's got like aluminium throughout it. And then if you want a halfway feeling type of putty, you mix it together. Yeah, whatever ratio you want to do for the different feels. So brown stuff, green stuff. So they're the most popular items. Back. Oops. So of course, apart from that, there's also blue stuff. Now, blue stuff is quite amazing stuff.
Yes, impressive.
It's one of our most popular videos at the moment. So how to use blue stuff, because a lot of people can't imagine how it works. So blue stuff is a thermoplastic. It's got a soft feel. So when you put it into hot water, it becomes malleable, becomes really soft. You pull it out, you press it against the item you want to replicate, allow it to cool, and then you can use that as a mold. So just for example, if you wanted to replicate a weapon for one of your miniatures, just soften it up, push your item in there, let it set. And then if you want to do a 2-piece mold, you can do that as well. So once one is set, you put another pack on the top of that, that cool, and then you split them apart.
Wow.
And then you can put in either green stuff, brown stuff, milliput, whatever you like, even a liquid type of epoxy. And then it will just replicate. You can even use super glue if you want.
Wow.
They'll all work. Yep.
Okay.
So just depends on how big you do. Small stuff, super glue will be fine.
And then you can reuse it. So once you're finished, you can put it in hot water. Is that hot water?
Yes.
And then you can start again.
Yeah. So almost like boiling water. So just boil up the kettle, pour in a little cup, drop it in, and I don't know, maybe 10, 20 seconds, it'll be ready to use.
Wow. That's really effective.
Yep. Okay, so I thought with the molding stuff, it'd be interesting because we've got quite a variety of molds that came in as well. So I've got these silicon molds here. Might be difficult to see, but these are a transparent silicon mold. I think I'll pull it out of the packet.
Camera.
All right, so I'll move that out of the way. Okay, so you got this one. This is actually bricks. So you'll probably be able to see the brick shapes in there. So there's actually 2 molds in here. So the first one is the straight type bricks. Really handy if you're doing ruins or you really want to build your own. Actually, there's 3 pieces.
Wow, different sizes.
Yeah.
And shapes, actually.
Okay, so give you all these. So you got standard bricks, you got corner type semicircles, you got angled sections, and then over here you've got various shapes for doing different angles as well.
And regular too, but yeah, that's quite nice actually.
So all you need to do is if you use plaster, so you regular plaster Paris you get from a hardware store, or you can get their acrylic resin. So that's this stuff here. So you just mix that with water. So ratio 3 parts of the resin powder to 1 part of water. and then you just put it in, and it becomes like a hydrostone.
Yep.
Yep. So a bit tougher than plaster. So that is the brick type.
And
Okay.
I guess, once you're done, you pop them all out.
That's right. It's a bit like
Okay.
a ice cube maker, isn't it? So you just press them out.
Okay.
Yeah, they just pop out. Really flexible.
It feels really good quality, actually, this silicone. It's quite, because you would think if you do this very often, then they will start breaking up. I don't
No, it's
feel
quite
that
solid.
this will be the case on this product. So good.
Yep.
Really good.
So apart from that, we also have these brick type molds. So these are like your cinder bricks, cement bricks. So these will be really suited for, say, post-apocalyptic or even a modern type diorama. Because quite often you'll see these broken up, or you build up little walls out of them. So it works a similar way to the other brick molds, but these are much thicker because hence, cinder blocks are much bigger. Same sort of thing. Put whatever material you want to put into here, and then you let it set and pop them out. Yeah. So there's some molds. All right. So something different again. We've got these resin crystals. But these resin crystals are a bit special because these glow in the dark.
Ah,
so I don't know if we can.
Probably a bit hard to see much.
It's way too bright, and I've got a little fly attacking me. Can you see a little bit of glow? A little bit of green.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So these are the glow in dark little crystals. So we've had all the crystals in blue, red, green, and then these are the glow in the dark. Same sort of thing. You can just add those on the bases of any sort of diorama.
Charge them up.
Yeah, charge them up with a torch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Turn off the lights.
That's right. And off they go. So they're nice. This sort of stuff is really interesting. So these are the photo etch heraldry type motifs. So these actually got the lines. So they call these the English lines. And they're the sort of things you see on knights. But for the miniature artists, it's quite easy to just get these. And these are photo etch which have already been pre-cut. Just pick them up, super glue them onto whatever you want, like the shields or the armor, and just paint them up. And in one packet, there's so many different types. I mean, you see all these are all segmented. They're all different ones. So in total, I can't remember how many you get. I mean, there's a lot there.
That's
just shake it around.
A few hundreds, really.
Yeah.
Very tiny.
And just see how fine the detail is too. So add a lot to your miniatures. Yeah. So there's a few different types too. So there's Tudor style ones. There might be some fleur-de-lis too for the French.
That's right. Yes.
Yep. This is not new, but it's something that's become really popular. So these are dice molds. So same sort of thing. You put in whatever material you want. Probably 2-part epoxy will be better that you pour into it because they'll be longer lasting. And they've got all the different types of dice. Let's see if I can pop them out.
It's again a silicone type. Also, you open up the top here.
Yeah, so you just pop it open. Just like that.
There we go.
So you get a little cap. Oh, oops, off he goes.
Lost it.
There it is.
Here we go, back.
Yep. So all you need to do is just pour your material inside. So let it rest. Pop the cap back on it. So it's got a locator, so you know exactly which way it goes in. So actually, it's got the breather hole there. So you have this all together first before you poured it.
Yeah, you put it in.
Yep.
This syringe or something.
Yep. I'm not very dexterous today.
And then you
there we go.
pop it out when you need to remove it, I suppose.
That's right.
But they're really good. You've got all your numbers here. I guess this needs to be in because it's got number 1 on this side, and then you got 5, 4, 2, 3, 5, and 6.
Yep.
So here we go.
I'm trying to put this in the wrong way around.
Yeah, it's going to be a long episode.
There we go. That's better.
Cool. That's good.
All right. So they're really popular. So they're back in stock now.
Shapes.
Yeah, quite a number of different size dice because the role-playing guys use quite a few dice for finding out the outcomes. All right, so we've got that. But apart from that, we've actually got full sets of dice now as well. And they're all in these...
Again, different. There's traditional cube-shaped ones. This traditional one.
Yep,
we've got
so
6.
Yep, 6.
And then they've got all different type of... So this one comes in a couple of different colors from memory. The pink and the green and the blue from memory.
Yes.
And then there is a range of the one that go up to I think 16 or 20. Even
so
20.
These ones are all 20-sided, I think.
Yeah.
And then we've got the mixed ones too.
Yeah.
So you've got one of everything in this one. This one's got a lot of the 6-sided because if you've got a bunch of people, everyone will have a set for themselves.
Yeah.
and then you've got multiples of the particular types as well.
And they're all quite nice actually. Look at the colors. This is kind of
they're groovy, aren't they?
Kind of pink and black, I would say. The one's got a bit more that blue tone and black. Mixed resin. So
yeah, it's good. So that's a new range for them, and it's a new range for us. Which is really interesting because we are getting a lot more gamers coming in the store looking for bits and pieces. So something nice, something to consider. Does add a bit more spice to your gaming life.
That's right.
All right, so that's a few of the green stuff world things that arrived, and I thought were quite interesting.
Definitely. So let's take these away. Meanwhile, we had Keenan joining us from Canada. So welcome.
Hello, Keenan. Thank you. All right, so what shall we move on to now?
Well, since we're talking about diorama-ish stuff, I collected a few things from the store because we could have a conversation about dioramas. So,
sure.
And look at a few of these things and just give a bit of a depth of perception how we can put those together. So obviously there is quite a lot as part of the green stuff world, and Martin Wahlberg and I guess Woodland Scenics as such, that you can use to build all different kind of scenes.
Yes.
And I thought to bring some of these really interesting kits from Masterbox.
So I guess one of the beauties of doing dioramas is making quite a few different products work together to tell a story. And by using these multiple items, you can get it really interesting, and it becomes a really interesting build too because there's various aspects of the build.
That's right. So you get this kind of figures that are post-apocalyptic type figures. There's another one here that it's really really nice. So Masterbox as a series. Let's pop on the top camera actually. As a kind of a series here, as you can see.
Yes.
Different different figures that fit within a range. Does it even have a name, this range?
That's a Bistorian
range. Okay, so there's this guy here, quite scary, and here's a series. So you can really recreate lots of different scenes.
So this one is more of the mythical creatures, but I mean it can fit into this sort of a genre quite easily as well. So you could get these two and put them together.
That's right.
So once you've got your main subjects, then you need to think about basing as well.
Absolutely. So MiniArt produces some of these kits here, and it's just a base, just a straight scape, really. That could be a starting point.
Yeah, for sure.
But they've got buildings and quite a few other things that you can use to have them as a base.
Quite often there'll be ruins.
Yeah.
And I mean, traditionally you do all that yourself, scratch building.
That's right.
But to scratch build something like this with all the cobblestones, I mean, I have done a cobblestone street before for one of my dioramas. It takes ages.
Many hours, yes.
So when you got something like this, it helps you concentrate on other aspects.
And I guess add a lot more detail.
Yes.
A lot more specific aspect of this.
Yes. So with these particular ones, they're molded in plastic. They're vacuum formed. And they're quite economical.
Here we go. Let's
crack that open.
It's quite interesting. It's really detailed, actually.
So from the top, there we go.
Look at this. So, and for memory, there is there's quite a few accessories. So you have like a manhole, a bit of a bench. Some posts,
Fencing.
Another manhole here. Fencing. But I think this is the important part. You have your base here.
Yeah, for sure.
Where you can, start putting lots of detail. Start putting some perhaps.
Yeah, and you start putting in some ground cover like this to make it look overgrown.
Can be colorful if you want.
A few flowers coming up.
All sorts of different colors. Or a bit more wild, kind of rough. Overgrown.
Yeah, for sure.
Typical of a city, of a town that has been abandoned.
So, I'm getting into this. I mean, particularly like this is Martin Wahlberg.
This is phenomenal.
You can see the depth that's in there. So these are all handmade in Holland, and you just need to cut a little bit out or pull a little bit off, and a bit of randomness all around. Just apply a little bit of glue onto the surface, and you get a really nice surface. So just by adding a little bit of this, you can put some of the flowers on top. It would just look like flowering bushes. So that's pretty much the basics of getting ready for a diorama. So with that, you can even think about vehicles. So got a really nice one there. I quite like that kit.
So I thought to pick this one specifically because it does have so much product in here. Beside the vehicle itself, you have all the roof rack accessories. So you've got, jerry cans, you've got a leather. Here you've got some kind of welding equipment.
Yep, you got a compressor. So it's actually a workshop, an internal workshop. So the workshop itself, you can actually pull out and have on the outside as well.
Wow.
So you could even paint it up so it's look like living quarters.
Yep.
And then the top part's got all your worldly possessions as you're driving away from the virus that's taken over the world.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good start. So just this mounted on this base with
a figure or two.
That's right, and the ground material. That's pretty much all you need to start a really nice looking diorama.
Definitely.
Yeah, easy as that. And it's not hard to make a diorama, and diorama adds so much more to just the base model.
Yeah.
Because just having this by itself looks great, but it doesn't have a lot of context.
And there's no story either. So
no, that's right.
You can really build and invent a story of a specific region.
Yes.
After a specific event.
Yes.
And then you can add a lot more detail. The plants can be all pink for a reason. Some contamination or whatsoever. So
that's right.
Get creative.
Yes.
And I guess the green stuff world specifically has so much that you can use to add that to your diorama.
Yes. Yep. I mean, the possibilities is endless.
Yes.
Really.
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely. So, very good.
Good stuff.
All right. So, I think Marley is going to be here in a minute.
Okay.
Talk about trains.
Yep.
Let's put this away.
Yeah, so that would be perfect with that. That would be quite funny, wouldn't it?
Quite nice to actually.
So it's like one group attacking the other group that owns the van and trying to take it over.
That's right.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot in this kit actually. Let's pop on the top camera briefly. As you can see, there's pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different couple fighting effectively.
Yep.
And there is
one coming in
with
the boot.
Yes. And as you can see, there's a lot of detail on.
That's the great thing about Masterbox. I mean, they've got some really interesting poses.
Definitely. This range is definitely interesting.
Oh, that's pretty wild, isn't it? There's a whip around the neck.
Yep.
There's a fist in the boot coming in.
Yep.
Yep. And there's a boot to the stomach.
That's it. Oh, very good. Very good. Very good. So let's see if Marlin is gonna be here in a minute. Let's park this stuff. Here we go. Look at this timing.
Hello, Marlon.
Welcome in.
Guys.
So we've been talking about the car. So as you come in, every time we have to negotiate this car.
It's always something different, isn't it? Always.
Yes. I think you may be familiar with this.
Can you pick this one?
Yes.
You can.
So there's a lot more guesses coming through here. So Rob is suggesting that he actually had one of this car, like a 69 model of this car.
Wow.
And so suggesting is a Butters, the GT500. And I think we have it. Flight Amber's also suggested is a Mark 1 Lotus Cortina.
Don't know about the Mark. We have to
know
trust
the
you on
Mark.
that one.
So is that the Mark 1 or 2? So I think we have it.
Yep.
It's a 1965 Cortina.
Let's see if anyone can pick the drivers.
Yes.
Yep.
I think the driver is the next challenge.
Yep.
All right. So what have you got for us, Martin, today?
A few things.
Yeah.
I think this is a GT500 version of the Mark 1 Cortina.
Right.
So, and they only made a very small number of them, and they were basically, that was when they homologated production cars for racing.
Yep.
And these were like set up for Bathurst, and then they had to produce a certain number to be able to do that, and they're super rare and collectible.
Right.
So
okay.
yeah.
So Mark 1 is.
Yeah, it must be.
Excellent.
Very good. All right. So let's get.
Shall we move this sucker away?
Move it. Let's
right.
move it out.
Let's pop them over here.
Okay. So what have you got for us today?
So we're gonna have a look at the Bachman branch line. It's a Rapier and a Ransom and Rapier 45-ton steam breakdown crane.
Wow.
So it's quite an exquisite beast, isn't it?
This is one of my favorite releases of Bachman. I think it was about two and a half years ago or so. That was phenomenal.
I'm surprised at the size of the box because there's so much in it.
And the complexity. So
well, Bachman claims that from an engineering and production standpoint, this was the most difficult project that they've ever had.
Oh, really?
Right. Wow.
There's just the complexity of the construction.
Yep.
And we'll open the box and you guys can see exactly how how complex and how many parts there are. So,
Cool.
and I thought what would be really fun to do is this is a breakdown crane.
Yeah.
So we'll see how well it works. We've got a carriage here that it's just had a derailment.
Right.
So
So we can rescue that.
Cool.
see if we could use this crane
To rescue that.
Yeah, sure.
and,
Okay.
and
all right.
see how well that works.
So-
So look.
Let's
Let me turn that around
pass
so I
those
can
around.
see it.
There we go on the top.
There
Here
we
we
go.
go.
Okay, zoom it out a
Oops,
bit.
wrong direction I went.
Here
All
we
right,
go.
we're back.
A lot of bits with this one. Yeah, the box is huge. Absolutely. I might have to do this to get it out.
Ah, yep.
And then we have our documentation. So this is very important. This is your instructions on how to assemble it, and then how to operate the crane itself.
Yep.
Which we'll demonstrate. So a lot of really wonderful information here. And also information on how to re-rig it if that becomes necessary.
Yep.
And that's very complex too. So great information there. And we'll move this out of the way for now.
Yep.
Thank
Pop
you.
it over here.
And the main contents. Very snug.
Yeah, packaging is very tight, isn't it? As in, it doesn't allow anything to move. It keeps everything really safe.
Yeah, everything's cushioned super
Mm.
well. So we've got the main crane here, and we'll get the little bits out first. So there's quite a few components to this. It's a very long machine, and it's articulated in a lot of spots to allow it to negotiate curves.
Yep.
Whether it be on a real railway or on someone's model railway, where the curves would be even tighter.
Yep.
So those are the two end parts.
Yep.
And then we've got this sort of supports the crane boom when it's down.
Yes.
And then
So-
we'll put that down. We might actually need that documentation to help us get everything
Oh, yeah.
set
I'll
up just
sort it up.
perfectly.
Yep.
Because I know that you have regular couplers on one side, and this is where this would connect to like a locomotive or another part of like a work train, and then this sort of like link pin sort of system is
It's
what.
going to go linked into
Yeah,
the actual main part of the crane. So I think you have
Excellent.
these two here, and then here we go. Yeah.
just as your documentation shows. Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll put that down. And then the main crane body itself, and it's a very,
Get rid of this little critter.
little critter. Very large, delicate machine, so we'll be very careful with this. And that goes on like that. I've got to very carefully
Connect it up.
connect it up.
Let's pop the front camera so you guys can have a look.
All right, so it's all coming together now.
Have to study it. There we go, just like that. I gotta sort of have to lift it up.
Yep.
And that makes the tolerance really tight. So
Yeah.
these fit together very tightly.
Yep.
It's based on an old the prototype it was based on. There's like 6 of these left in preservation, but they were originally built for the LNER and the SR, so the London Northeast Railway and the Southern Railway, in the late 30s through to the 1940s.
Mhm.
And Bachman did an extensive amount of research on these because the cranes changed in specification a lot over the years, and that most of them stayed in service for a long time, and quite a few of them are actually still operational now and are used by preservation railways for exactly what they were designed for many decades ago.
Picking things up.
So yeah, it looks like we've got this complete. It's huge, isn't it? It would have been good to have a locomotive here so that we could have like a scale comparison.
Yes.
It's pretty massive, isn't it?
I guess once you have the wagon on beside it,
Yeah.
it would give definitely a good indication.
So let's see.
All right,
So-
so that's the derailed sucker.
It is. So the crane, can't do much with the crane yet. So we've got inside the box, there's
Some photo edging.
some photo etched panels.
Yep.
They've already actually printed the build plates and all of the information plates, but they also give you brass ones that you can fix to it if you wish to.
Okay. Yep.
But again, not necessary because I know not everybody wants to do that.
Okay.
And then
Nice.
you have a bag of bits,
Bag of bits.
very important bits. This attaches to the crane hook. I forgot the name of this, but I know the documentation, I think, describes it. It is a spreader beam.
A spreader beam.
So you can,
Spread bin.
I don't know how well you guys can see it.
Oh, so it shares a load across a couple of sets of chains. Or
Exactly.
ropes.
So if you wanted to have more than one chain or rope,
Yep.
then this is what you would use to sort of even out
Yep.
the
Balance,
lifting
yeah.
process.
Okay.
So that's very important.
Yep.
And then you have, this is the key. This is what makes the whole thing operate.
That's the magic.
Magnetic.
Let's,
Yeah, let's go. Let's go for a closer look. So this is basically like a little handle with a magnet
So the shiny
on
bit's
the
the
back
magnet.
of it. That's right. And then it has like a sort of where it notches in, and we'll show you. There's on the back of the crane. So this is a steam crane, so it's steam driven.
Yep.
And it has boiler openings.
Yep.
So you use the magnet to. So as it stands,
Yep.
there's also the chimney, the boiler chimney here.
Yep.
And that fits on. I'm pretty sure just like that. There's a little hole.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Just like that.
Okay.
And
that's
so
complete.
you need to remove this.
Yep.
And then you need to remove the boiler plates on the back with the magnet. And
Oh,
they
wow.
just snap off.
Yep.
And then you put them somewhere very safe. We'll just put them here for now.
Yep.
And there's two. Let's see if I can lift it up a bit. But there's where the two boiler plates are. One operates the height of the boom.
Yep.
Why don't I bring that a bit
Yeah, good
closer?
idea.
So one operates the height of the boom, and one also operates the hook itself.
Yep.
So you can see the rigging's really complex, and it's as prototypically accurate as they could make it. So let's see if we can get this derailed wagon.
We're going to move that a bit closer. Let's shift
maybe
this a
we
bit
should do
closer.
that.
in the way.
Shift this closer here.
See if we can do it just like the railways did it.
And then
but
we'll shift this
much
one
smaller.
over here. Okay. So it's chugged along and it's stopped next to this derailed.
for simplicity's sake, let's do it like that.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, this swivels 360 degrees,
All right. Yep.
which is pretty great. Whoop.
Oh. Okay.
And we'll put the key in, and that just sort of slides in like that. Whoa.
Ooh.
Oh, you know what?
Derail.
I forgot a very important part.
What's
I
that?
forgot to demonstrate, and that a crane operator would always do in real life.
Put a
Is it to stop it from doing that?
Yes, you have it is because that is a common problem with cranes. So they actually have supports.
Little arm things.
Yeah, that come out.
Ah.
maybe one of these interesting videos that we see on YouTube of crane crashing.
There's quite a few of those. Now let's see. There's more of those than what there probably should be.
Right here.
They are. They're very hard to get out. So I might have to disconnect this briefly. Take the key out. Just show underneath.
The outriggers.
The outriggers, that's it. There we go.
Oh wow! Oh wow! They come a long way.
They do. So we've got they come out all the way, so we won't go all the way, but this will certainly help in the event that it wants to topple.
Wow.
There's also a lot of really fine detail on this too. I'll just quickly show you. You can see inside the boiler. Focus.
One back to
Touch
a little bit.
close.
Yep.
Yep. Getting,
Oh, there
that's
we go.
better.
Perfect. So I'll just demonstrate with when you're raising and lowering the actual hook itself, you can see that the steam piston moves.
Oh yeah.
So it's all
It's
geared.
rotating. Yep.
So that's really cool. Let's get this back on track.
Yep.
And get this track clear.
All right.
I think we've got it.
Right.
All
Okay.
right. So
These also have a hinged roof,
Oh, it's
so that
opening up.
the crane operators could get a better view of what the boom was doing.
Right.
So that doesn't come up more than that, I believe. But that's just like the real prototype. So again, they did a huge amount of
That's about 30
Research.
series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so yep, that's coming down now
You can see
slowly.
it coming down. It doesn't move particularly quickly.
I guess a real one wouldn't be
The real
moving
one
then.
wouldn't have been moving
No.
very quickly either.
It's amazing seeing all those gears in there.
They're all moving at different ratios.
Hmm. Right, so it's coming down now.
That's pretty fun.
That's like a bit of role playing too, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think this would be really great for if you love doing photography on your layout
Yeah.
and you wanted to stage a scene where there was a situation where a breakdown crane was needed.
Yep.
You could like populate this with workers and
Yep.
sort of stage a really wonderful scene, and I think it would be great for that purpose.
That's extended pretty far already.
It's almost flat. Yeah.
Well, if you want to run this around, you'll need to lay it flat, and that's why this thing is so long. Is just to accommodate it.
True that.
So let's just imagine there's a steam engine and it pulls it along.
Yep.
To help align it. So we've got to get it real close.
Almost there.
We'll hook it on. Whoa.
Okay, so we're gonna connect it to the coupler.
It's a small hook, but I think it'll do it.
Okay.
That's
All
it.
right,
Okay, so
let's bring it up.
right, so we're going the opposite direction. That's cool.
Gotta get my ground crew to
Right,
sort
let
of.
me you hold it
Yeah,
there.
you know what? Go for it.
The ground crew is just aligning it up.
Wonder how many people normally operate this. It's more than one for sure.
Oh, here we go. Oh, he's off.
Look at that.
It's off the ground now.
Right, so then we just twist it and then go the opposite direction down. So that's going to front camera so everyone can probably see.
Yeah.
Now we're going down again and should be perfectly, or not so perfectly.
Close.
I think you've almost got it. Just down a little bit more.
I think we are
Pretty close.
mostly done.
A bit more to your right, I think.
Just got some steps, isn't it?
Takes a bit of skill.
Definitely.
Those crane games.
I think we
Oh,
have it.
yeah, I
I
think
think we
I
have
think
it.
we're on.
Alright.
It's rolling.
Yeah, true. I remember that. Here we
Oh,
go.
there we go.
Done.
Off it goes. It's rolling away.
Nope, no one set the brakes. So there it goes. Yeah, so that's
Success.
really cool. A really cool item from Bachman. And they were very proud of this because of all of the work that they had to
Yeah,
put
definitely.
into it. There's so many
Definitely.
components. And the detail is really lovely with all the gearing and,
Yes,
and
for
the
sure.
piston moving with the crane. So
Mm.
yeah, it's a really great addition to your layout if you're really interested in work trains or if you want to replicate a scene where there would be a situation where this would be needed.
Brilliant.
That's great.
Well, that was a really good demonstration today. There's something different.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't think you actually make it happen. The rear LA wagon.
Oh, we did it. Just like the real thing.
So then in real life, this will be traveling pretty much like this with the boom resting on this part,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, the clearance for tunnels and bridges is really tight in
That's
the UK.
right. Yeah.
And you can even see that sort of like the roof of the crane is
Chamfered, right.
Oh,
chamfered
yep,
to allow it to fit
yep.
in the tunnel. So
Yep.
this would have to be very flat in
Yeah.
order for it to work. And then when you have this in the position you want, you just take out the key.
Yep.
And you put in the little magnetic boiler plates, and they'll just snap right back into place.
Even the idea of using the magnetic boiler plates, it's really clever actually that you have the detail of the boiler, but at the same time it's actually functional, can be removed and
Yes.
utilized to action the crane. Really.
Yeah.
I'm sure they gave it a really long think, and they're like,
Definitely.
how do we make sure that this looks as realistic as possible,
possible.
but
Yeah.
how do we also allow functionality? And this
Yeah.
was a really good solution for that, I thought.
That's right.
So.
So,
Done a really good job.
Yeah.
brilliant.
That's impressive.
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, thanks very
So,
much.
all right,
guys.
thanks, Marlon. Should we leave it here? We should
If
leave
you're
it here.
happy to leave it here, yeah.
Let's leave it at the front here.
All right, no
I
worries.
put away the parts we may lose.
Probably slide it over a little
Yeah, we'll
bit
put it
so
at the
that you
front
have
there.
a bit more space to work with.
Here we go. Brad is
So-
going to come in a second.
I'll be careful because I don't want to get another breakdown crane and
No.
fix the first breakdown crane. So.
Fair
Good
enough.
Thanks,
All
everybody.
right, thanks,
All
Marlon.
right, thank you, Marlon. All right, so while we get Brett ready, he's going to talk about slot cars, I think, today.
Yeah,
Cars were different
that's right.
because it's been raining. We couldn't actually go racing, so we decided to downgrade to smaller cars.
Oh, I wouldn't call it downgrading.
Downsizing.
Downsizing it is. Yeah,
Downsizing to smaller cars.
Yeah.
So
they're just as fun. It's like a different concept though.
I think so.
Yeah,
And
very old
it's-
school concept.
That's right. And today he's wearing a jumper like it's
Is he?
winter.
Oh, it's me again.
It's you again.
Hello.
Well, last time I felt bad because I had a jumper on with nothing.
Oh, you did? Oh, true that.
Remember, it
Yeah.
was a grey one.
Oh,
And like you picked on me and bullied me. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what
the-
you
how
thought.
are we,
weekend.
guys? Welcome. Wow, what is that? It's fantastic. What's
That's
Marlon
impressive.
been up to?
He's been craning around.
Has he?
Yep.
Anybody guess the car yet, or are we guessing the crane?
Well, the car's been guessed already.
Really?
We're waiting for the drivers to be picked.
How many wheels does
No,
it have?
I think there is a driver, guys.
5.
It's got a spare. It's got a spare in there.
One fall off before. So
That is
Flank Campbell
fantastic.
suggesting there's Armstrong 500 Bow and Senton Mitch. Yep.
Bo, Seaton,
and
Mitchell.
Bosworth.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's absolutely correct.
That'd be Glenn's dad, wouldn't it?
That is correct.
That's fantastic.
So we have the car officially
All right.
fully guessed.
I always miss out on the car. What were we talking about today?
I think we're going to talk about slot cars. We
This
said
one?
that you downsized or downgrade because you couldn't race
Well,
because it was winter.
during lockdown and Melbourne's inclement weather, everybody has been going slot car crazy, haven't
Absolutely.
they? Mental. So I thought that we might take the opportunity and open up something new.
That's
This is
right. We
pretty
haven't done
It's
any
not something
unboxing.
that I know heaps about. I'm
But
sure
this is the best bit.
this is the best bet.
You see that?
Let's spin that around. What are you pointing at there, young Beach?
I'm pointing at the jump.
Oh,
It's got a jump in it.
Yeah, no, it's got a jump on it.
What?
it looks
It's got a
like
jump. It's got ramps. It's got the
Yeah,
up
ramps.
ramp.
You
How
can
much
actually
would
jump.
your cat love
and
that?
you got a cross here where you're going to
And a cross section
jump
as
and
well.
crush.
It's like
Wow.
off-road racing, except it's not off-road.
That's right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we have
Scalextric buggies.
that's Lockout guys joining us. Hi, Travis.
Fantastic.
good
So
timing.
let's get it open.
So
Yep.
That'll be easy to open.
Yeah. you know how
BJ
to
goes,
open this.
it'll be easy.
It'll be easy.
Open the Scalextric, it'll
the
be
instructions are
easy.
inside.
There
You
you
know
go,
how to
see?
open the box. So I like to say, Travis, if
go.
you stick around for 5 minutes, we'll do an experiment later on how to get Lockhouse to go on the truck faster, isn't it?
Oh, will we ever?
Look at that.
All right.
Okay, so
We are going to need to go the overhead, I think, because
Yeah, that's it.
everybody
You're on.
blocked. They'll be looking at the.
I
We're
think
not
that'll
going
be
to crush
sort
her.
of safe, I think.
Is it safe on?
no,
Yeah,
it's not safe on the crane, so I'll hold it up here.
That is
Yeah, I got it.
fantastic. Let's
Yeah,
have a look
I'll
in
be good.
here.
Are you good?
Oh,
got
we've
some
got the
instructions.
warranty details. That
Yep.
would be handy if we
So
ever need it.
obviously, yes, they do come with warranty, but you know, if you crash it a lot,
Getting started. Well, with a jump in it, I don't see how you crash it.
no,
So
it's
this is the
impossible.
other fun bit too.
I think
Yeah,
so.
the crossover.
Yeah. So that's the secondary crash area
How many times do you think people are just going to try and aim for each other?
all the time.
Literally every
100%.
single lap.
Hey.
You're
I'll
going to
do.
have to wait at a corner for your mate to come
And
around.
it is fantastic. How long has Scalextric's been around for, BJ?
Long
Many-
time.
many
A long
years.
time.
Long time. I don't know exactly. I reckon the slot car guy would be able to tell us.
Yeah,
But I
Travis,
reckon it's
tell
gotta
us
be-
how long is Scalextric been around for?
It's got to
Let's
be
see.
50 years plus, I reckon.
Yeah,
and
good
it'd
section.
have to be, wouldn't it?
So as you
Yeah.
see, the
And-
packaging now on Scalextric is all on cardboard. So they moved away from any plastic or whatsoever
Yeah,
for
And polystyrene
and
as well.
polystyrene
Yes.
for environmental issues. So
Yes.
it probably doesn't look as flash that when they had like really flash plastic.
Yeah.
But it's more
Definitely
environmental.
more
And
environmental.
it
for
probably
sure.
packs away better. I don't know about you guys,
Got it
but
all.
when I was a
Single
kid
layer.
and I got my Scalextrics out, it would put white polystyrene everywhere.
The little balls.
And because it was so molded, you would never get, if you just had one little bit out, you
Yep.
would never get it back away. But it
Absolutely.
looks
No,
like
that's
a little
right.
bit
So I
more
think we should look at
forgiving,
the
doesn't
jump. The jump is definitely a key
it?
part
Get
of
this
this.
one out of the way.
That's your jump here.
That's part of the jump, is it? The ramp?
Yeah, just open it up. It should be just an elastic band coming out there.
Yep.
I think that's really interesting to see how this works. So your car will come from this side,
Yep.
and then it will land on this side. So they've got this kind of kind of funnel
Oh,
type
okay, a
shape.
funnel type shape
make
for
sure
the
the car-
guide.
Yeah.
To guide back in.
So it goes back into the slot.
Yep, that is fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it actually looks quite steep,
And you
doesn't it?
see how this section here, so this is a part that just slots into any straight. So
Oh,
it's
so you
picking,
can
it's
put it
picking up
anywhere.
the power from these little tags here.
Oh, that is brilliant. So
Yeah,
you
so
can
you can move
actually
it
put
around.
it. Oh, so it doesn't have to be in one spot.
No,
Can
that's
be
right.
anywhere.
That is
really.
really clever, isn't it? They really have thought that one
So
through.
hopefully you could jump across.
Yeah. And then you could like pull it further and further apart and see.
How far
How
you can
far
go.
you can
Oh, that's a challenge.
And that's
isn't it?
where
Yeah.
the traction compound will come in.
That's where the
play.
traction compound they get the maximum trajectory.
That's right.
So-
That is fantastic. And one of these cars, I believe, has a flashing light on it too.
Yeah, the police car should have the flashing car.
Not sure
So
if
it
we
makes
really
sense,
want
doesn't it? You know, you got the baddies car and
the
you have the
baddies
goody
car.
car. Or you can do it the other way around. You have it like the crooks have taken the cop car and taken off, and you chase it with the
Do
highway
you think
patrol.
more people would want to be the good guys or the bad guys? Who would
Bad
you?
guys.
I think you'd be a baddie
I'll
for
be a
sure,
baddie.
wouldn't you?
I'm a baddie.
I would definitely be a goodie.
What they're trying to say about our characters?
But
We're trying to-
I'm just saying I would be a goodie. I would be in the trying to uphold the law and
I think we're
that
showing
is
how
fan-
it's totally opposite to our characters, isn't it?
that is fantastic, isn't it? So we've got a charger there, and we've got what's the other one? Another Valiant, is it?
Oh no, what is that?
The police car. I'm not too sure.
Look at the funky shape on the roof. It's like a T-bar.
And that's the other thing you got to say about Scalextric is they've really turned it up a notch, haven't they? Their scale stuff and their molds, they're quite bespoke, aren't they?
Ah,
Yeah, they're
Like
looking good.
the finish on them and stuff, like
Mm.
that many people come in and buy them, and they got no intention of ever taking them out of the box
No.
because it's like a cheap sort of scale collectible,
That's
Mm.
right.
you know.
That's right.
And given Scalextric's legacy is that they'll be around for another 50 years,
That's
Oh,
right.
for sure, easy.
you know.
So
So
pop this down.
let's put this down before we.
Meanwhile,
Before we have
Travis
to buy it.
is suggesting that Scalextric was around since the 60s.
Yep.
So it's been around for, well, I guess a good 50 years.
Do you know what they didn't have in the 60s though?
Absolutely. I know
What,
exactly where
what
we're
did they
going.
have in the 60s?
What didn't they have in the 60s?
So,
They didn't have TDK tire sauce. Now, what we're going to do here, and what we've been finding people doing in lockdown, is putting tire sauce onto their slot cars.
I think we should
They'll
start.
do. They're doing anything, these guys, to
To
use
go
up their
faster.
sauce to go fast. So it doesn't have to be just your 10th scale racer.
So we do this on our racing car. So if you've been following us, when we go racing on
Yeah.
the weekend, we put this compound, which is like a rubber kind of
Activator.
activator
Yeah.
on
Because when you rub across the tires now with your fingers, you can
Let's-
feel this.
It's
It's
like
smooth,
a,
right?
It's smooth. It's smooth.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
smooth.
So it doesn't have a lot of grip as such. But
Now
when
you can imagine how many little tires that you would get out of this single bottle. That's the thing, wouldn't you?
yeah, it'll last a lifetime.
And the beauty about this is that you could have your kids handling this stuff,
because this is actually
you know, as opposed to
non-toxic.
the other stuff. Is
Yeah, that's
because
right.
it's non-toxic. The tire sauce and the traction compounds that we used in the old days or of recent times even have been known to be toxic and carcinogenic even.
Yes.
So that's the beauty in this TDK stuff is that it is indeed toxic free
That's right.
and good for it's meant to be biodegradable.
Yep.
Yeah, so not bad for the environment, not bad for your health.
Yep.
And even heaps more fun for your slot cars. I don't know how we are going to demonstrate this on this track,
I don't
but
think we can, but the idea is that it's going to soften the rubber
Yep.
and so you get more traction.
that's right. So
I guess after it's set, we'll be able to feel the difference on the surface.
Yes.
That's right.
yeah, absolutely. So if people want to watch for another 20 minutes while this
Yep.
one flashes off and dries into and activates with the tire,
Yep.
we could probably hold it upside down, I dare say.
Yep.
But the way to tell it would be to have your jump coming out of a corner and seeing if you could in fact jump further.
That's right.
But needless to say that people have been to the point I think where they could just about hold them on full throttle now with the traction source.
So
So there's another use for your TDK tire source that you
Absolutely.
may or may have not known.
Yep.
And should we go into another lockdown?
Yep.
Yet another use for your RC race stuff.
that's
Yes.
right. So looks like that's like our guys popped by the Hobbyman today to pick up a few cars. So we received some really nice Carrera this week over there.
Really?
Some new
Okay.
releases.
Fantastic.
And so I'm pretty sure that Travis picked up a couple of new ones.
really?
Okay.
That
Which
is
card
great
did you
news.
grab, Travis? Let us know. So
Fantastic.
awesome.
All right, guys. Well,
Thank you
Muggies
for
and Nevies.
dropping by.
Thank you for having me again, guys.
That's it.
Have fun. Stay safe. I believe so.
Oh.
I've got work to do.
Oh, very cool.
See you guys.
See you, mate.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So, well, we're getting towards an hour already. So
Oh, really?
we've got a very
No.
long show today,
Really?
and we haven't even started with this project.
Right. Okay.
So I think we should probably look into this. But let's close up this lock car. So Travis suggests that we should do a test on a proper big lap. So I think there's some interest on the TDK.
I think we should just do the jump test.
I think the jump test will be fun. But what I'm going to do, I might put some of these in a smaller bottle for you, Travis, and leave it at the Hobbyman, so you can pop by next time and grab some, and you can do some testing and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty confident that.
It's going to be pretty sticky, eh?
Oh wow! Already, geez. I think it's going to melt these tires off. No. I could feel that. Some good.
So you got a bit of softening going on?
Bit of softening going on, so
Right.
it should be good. Very good.
All right.
So,
What do you got here?
let's do this quickly. I'll bring up my card, which you guys have seen quite a few times already. So this car had a bit of a tough life.
This car's been around, hasn't it?
It's been around. It's been in the ocean a few times.
Has he been overseas?
Has been overseas. It's been in Dubai a few times.
Yep.
In the sand, in salty water of all kind,
Right.
and in the Mirabinong River.
In the Maribyrnong River. And
That was bad news. It
Yeah.
lasted 2 seconds.
The Maribyrnong River
Killed
killed
it.
your car.
Killed it.
Right.
Everything fried,
Right.
including the non-electricals. So
Well, there you go.
we went to demonstrate to some good friends how good is this car in water, and he went into water up to this point and
Yep.
stopped,
Right.
and that was it.
Right.
So eventually, a couple of weeks ago, I had to open a gearbox and found out that the gearbox was pretty much fully rusted up, really.
Well, I guess the rust has been brewing for a year, hasn't
It
it?
has been. So I had this car for probably 3 years.
Yep.
And we tested in any possible way. So high speed, 3S.
Yep.
Brushless motor.
Yep.
And all the way to go into water, salty water, and just give it a quick wash. So it's actually phenomenal, really. I mean,
It's still pretty much.
it's still in good nick.
Yeah.
And the reason I had to open the gearbox is because one of the plastic parts inside the gearbox is actually wearing out.
Right.
I'm going to show this actually because that's shows how strong this car is. So let me see if I can pop here. See, as you can see,
Was it starting to round off?
yeah, this part here, which is what we use to change gears, okay, will start wearing off a little bit here, which is normal. wear and tear.
So that's normally a
Square.
right angle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so start wearing off, which is normal, really. So I thought to open up and replace this part, but I realized there was a lot more damage.
So
Effectively,
all the other bits were
all the
turning
other
orange.
bits, the bearings were turning orange, and
Yep.
so I thought to upgrade the gearbox, and I found from a company called GDS
Right.
this really, really nice gearbox. So it's fully metal,
Looks really
including the
nice.
spur gear, and also the internal gears are all metal.
Yep.
And it's actually really smooth.
It is. I had a bit of a play with it before. I even pulled in and out the gear
So-
changing lever.
Very, very smooth.
Yep.
Really slick.
Yep.
It maintains all the functionality of the original one, which is like the
So that's a gear change.
the gear change.
Yep.
So you can't go wrong with this. So it's about 120 Australian dollars landed roughly.
Yep.
And I want to quickly demonstrate. We don't have time to go through the full process, but to access your gearbox in the TRX4 is actually really easy. So you need to remove your battery tray,
Mhm.
and once you've done that, you've got access to your gearbox here, which comes in a block.
I'll
and-
just move that to get. It's going to focus down there.
Okay, here we go. Hopefully we can focus here.
Need to trick the camera. There we go.
All right, so that's your kind of engine bay, really,
Yes.
to a degree.
Yep.
So what's going to happen here is you've got your drive shaft getting power to the wheel. So you connect your drive shaft here,
Yep.
front and rear. We'll do the rear one just for simplicity.
Mhm.
Let's see if we can sneak it under all the servos. Got all the servos here.
Mhm.
Do that later.
Oh, it's dropped out.
And really sits really easy on the chassis here.
Oh, it's just dropped in.
Just dropped in, and
Yep.
then you connect it because the drive shaft are in 2 parts like this, so you can actually connect them afterwards.
Oh, slidey.
So they slide.
Yep.
And off you go. So you connect the drive shaft. The motor goes back in here.
Yep.
Got a cover here that goes like so. Let's see. There we go. So a few screws now,
It's pretty modular.
but you know, in a few seconds you can pretty much pull out your gearbox.
Yep.
So what's left at this point is to reinstall the gear change servo on this side here, like this.
Yep.
This will be connected to
The little shaft lever
the
there.
shaft lever here.
Yep.
Pop this one down here, and that you are pretty much done. There's 4 screws from memory underneath, and a couple of here. You pop your radio tray back down. You'll be in business.
It's nice.
So that's once again, this car Traxxas has done like a phenomenal job.
Hmm.
You know, it took quite a few years to come out with a crawler, but you know, ultimately they have produced something really, really special, really modular,
Yep.
and really durable.
Well, it's really shown how well designed it is
That's
over
right.
those years.
That's
yeah.
right. So, so the project now is the plan is to install this gearbox in full
Yes.
and give it a run this weekend.
In the Marathon.
Nah,
No.
I'm not going to see water this one. I think being metal, I think the downfall of being all metal is
Yes.
that it's not going to be really, you know, it could be affected by salt
the
and all that.
water. Yeah.
But one thing I'm going to do before doing that, let me pull it up 1 second.
Yep.
Is to put some grease. And is it going to pop out again? Yes. Here we go. All right. So I'll do this one. So I have here. It came from TDK. It's
Oh,
called. It's a crawler, so it's a kind of a water-resistant thick grease.
Yes.
So one thing I'm going to do is to remove, unassemble this,
Yes.
and put a thick layer of grease along the seam here.
Yep. So it acts like a gasket.
Exactly correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to act as a gasket, really. So
Okay.
by doing that, we should limit the, effect
Yeah.
of salt
liquid.
and water.
Yep.
But I realize that if you go in water with a RC car, you're going to pay the consequences, really.
Yeah, I guess so.
You
It's one
can't
of those
expect
risks,
to be
isn't it?
perfect.
Yeah.
So if you decide to do so, well, if something goes wrong,
Hmm.
just you're going to have to live with it. If you don't want anything to go wrong, really, you just stay in it dry.
Yeah.
And that won't be a problem. But in my view, mud and water is probably the best part when you have a crawler.
Well, that's part of it, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
You have to emulate real life.
absolutely. So you're going to use quite a bit of this TDK grease to
Yeah.
protect this gearbox because this will go in the water eventually.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure it will end up.
So I've noticed that the TDK lid says marine and crawler. So I guess with marine, you can use it on boats as well
That's correct.
for the propeller shafts.
Propeller shaft.
So
yeah.
at the end of the propeller shaft where the prop is, quite
That's
often
right.
you grease that up. You put that there instead to reduce the liquid ingestion. And because it's non-toxic,
Yeah.
it's one of those easier sort of lubricants and greases you can use just with your
Yeah.
bare hands if you're out in the field.
That's
You don't
right.
have to worry about any of the dangerous effects of the
Absolutely.
chemicals.
Absolutely. So, and this is the Traxxas TRX4.
Nice.
That it's been around for a while and had quite a few upgrades. We had lots of fun,
Yes.
including the kids. So it's probably one of the kind that the full family is playing with because it can go really fast,
Okay.
or reasonably fast. I think we'll get close to 50 k's an hour when we put a
very
3S
decent.
battery.
It's very decent when you're doing full speed because normally a crawler you don't have that flexibility.
That's
It's either
right.
slow and it's always
Absolutely.
slow. But if you want
Absolutely.
to drive it in a normal flat area, it's just as fun. Don't
But
have to change
then-
car.
When you flip to
Hmm.
low gear, is
Yeah.
actually, it's virtually less than walking speed.
Yes.
Barely moves, so you can actually have that realism of climbing, really, off-roading and doing all that.
Well, I think the remote diff locking helps with that too.
That's great.
It adds to the whole, I guess, the enjoyment, the play factor
Yes,
of all of this.
that's right.
Like the crane had that ability to do that up and down play
Absolutely.
function. You've got that in a radio control model as well. It just enhances everything.
Definitely. So this is a control that comes with it, and often enough ready to run controllers are pretty basic, but this is
Yes.
actually really good. It's very solid.
Yep.
So you actually can drop it quite a few times.
You're not meant to though.
You're not meant to, but
But-
you know, it's survived quite a few crashes.
Yep.
And you've got your change of gear here. So
Yep.
high speed, low speed, high speed.
Yep.
Then you have your gearbox locking up on top here.
Getting attacked here.
So what that means is you can have all open differentials like a
Mhm.
normal,
A regular car.
regular
Yep.
car. And then you can start locking the front diffs.
Yep.
Or the front and rear diffs together.
Yep.
Which is quite impressive. And what you do with that, you're using that when you want to have more turning. For example, you leave your diffs open.
Yep.
And once you turn, then you lock them again and you start climbing.
Yep.
So lots of flexibility there.
It's great. Definitely a game changer, this car.
Definitely. So looks like Flying Amber is loving his TRX4 as well.
Good stuff. Excellent.
Actually, we have a snorkel done on by Hearns Workshop.
Yes,
So
we
we
do.
fit the Defender body.
Mhm.
Very nice. So we've got 3 different versions of the snorkel,
Yep, different heads.
different heads. Yes. Actually, I have one there. Let's see if someone can grab it from my
I
bag.
saw them.
Sunniva, can you grab the thing from the bag? Let me see if someone can grab it.
Yep.
But we have a very nice little snorkel for the Land Rover. Let me find it.
Yeah, they're
One
really
second.
nice. They're really scale looking. And they suit that particular body to a T. And having the 3
There we
different
go.
heads. There we go. We've got 3 different heads
Yeah.
on show.
Quite a few. So, let's get the top camera.
So what do you call that one? This is it's like a hammerhead shovel.
Hammerhead,
looking thing.
yes. Yes.
Yep.
So then we have more of a traditional version.
Yep.
We've seen around quite a lot.
So the curved snorkel.
And then I have what we call, is that a mushroom?
Yep. Mushroom head one.
And we actually painted one with this kind of
Yeah, that's
metallic color, which is quite nice. We're looking at doing a full body shell with this color. Maybe a bit much, but we're still negotiating that.
that
Never,
looks great.
nothing's too much.
Nothing.
And here we go. So we've got our 4 options here, 3 options.
Yeah.
And these are a direct fit for the TRX4 Land Rover body shell.
Look great.
So these were designed by Warwick
Hmm.
here at Hearns, and we actually manufacture them in-house. We're
Yes.
using a very high tensile resin. So these
It's
are
really tough.
very, very strong.
Yeah.
I mean, beside rubber, I don't think you're going to find something that lasts. If you want something very detailed, all plastic will eventually become brittle to maintain this kind of detail. But this material is
Yeah, it's
extremely
really strong.
strong.
Yeah.
So, yes,
No, that's good stuff.
that's good. So I think we're almost at the end again today.
Yeah, so we might just have a quick look at what's happened to my frost.
Yes.
See
Let's
if
see
it's
if anyone has
grown.
any questions here. Pop this away.
All right, so I've got my frost here, and look at that.
Okay, so
Over 1 hour, it's grown a little bit.
let's get a bit closer. A second. Here we go.
All right, so there's that little drop I put on just before. Might be a bit hard to see, but it's actually turned a little bit furry.
Let's see. Ooh, wow. Yes, it is.
It's not really tall yet. So if we wanted to grow to this sort of point, this is where we put on another drop. And then when we come back to it tomorrow, it'll be similar to this. So I guess probably 1 hour for that thin coat.
Yeah.
So I guess you could do it after every hour, put on a few different coats, and then you
And
see it
build
grow.
and build and build.
So simple as that. So you can just apply a little bit. It'll give you that slight furriness. So that'll give you like a fresh fallen snow effect.
Yeah.
And then if you want it to grow full crystals, and you do this is like a more fantasy type of look. See how chunky they are.
Very special.
It's amazing. I mean, you can see how long some of these are. There's like 5, 6, 7 mil. Some of these.
Yeah, it's huge.
So that's the liquid frost from Green Stuff. And then apart from that, should we have a closer look at?
We should have a close
The
look at the
car.
car. Meanwhile, that's Locker guy suggested that the cars in the set
Yes.
is the Scalextric XG and a Tirana, which he suggested a bit left field, and he's going to do a YouTube review on those cars. So
Right.
Travis has a very, very cool slot car channel on YouTube. So guys,
Yes.
jump on that slot car guy on YouTube.
Yep.
video coming out almost every week, I think.
Oh, really?
I've seen quite a few
Wow.
recently. So Travis definitely stepped up the game on pumping out videos of all kind of slot cars, reviews, and test drive, and all kind of
I've seen a lot of
things.
his Instagram posts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So well done. Keep up with the good work, and everyone jump on his channel and have a look at some very, very cool slot car reviews.
Yep.
And his phenomenal layout.
Yep.
Does have a
Big collection.
huge collection and a
Yep.
huge layout.
Mm.
Carrera, I guess, based layout.
Mm.
Very nice. So cool. So should we put a top camera and have a look at this one?
There he is. That is the Cortina.
That's it. This is a very, very nice model, actually. I like the color. You know, it's it just adds detail, actually, with all the trimming, silver trimming.
It's got a very vintage look to the color. It's a it's more a bone type finish.
Yes.
So almost like it's like a Japanese sort of racing white,
Yes.
off white door that opens up.
And being light, you can see all the darker, inserts in the doors. The seat belts.
So it's interesting you got the racing harnesses in there, right?
Yeah.
But look at the seat.
Yes.
That's a regular seat.
Yeah.
It's probably got some firmer foam in it, maybe. But that would have been quite a thing to drive. I mean, think about going around Bathurst. I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't be like the current sort of touring cars. So let me see if I can. This has got an opening bonnet. Don't remember on this one.
I think definitely you should do. Yeah. It's always a bit tricky to delete the button underneath.
I don't see a little button.
This thing here. Maybe it's not meant to.
Yeah, because sometimes the seams are so tight. This might need something to help it along. So the rear, probably not as well. Yep, the rear's all solid.
So maybe there's no opening.
But you got
very nice undercarriage.
Yep, looks like a full engine detail. So once we work it out, you should be able to open it up.
I think this little pin here, is that for the steering? That's for the steering, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's for the steering. It's not for.
I think you can see the number there as well. So this is number 856. Not too sure how many in total. It's usually around the 2000 sort of mark on these.
1500, 2000 or so, yeah.
Yep.
Let me grab the box down here.
Got the solid rear axle there.
So that's the box here. So limited edition of 1500.
15, okay. I'm going to open this door here. Oh. All right, so I've got that open as well. So it's very much like a production car. I mean, the dash looks pretty standard. It's got a few extra dials in it. And one of those is probably for turbo boost.
That's right.
Probably not.
At the front intake here.
Yes. So got intakes here. Little scoops.
It's very modern. Somehow.
But yeah,
Really nice.
it's good. And the GT stripes looks nice.
It does indeed.
Yeah.
Very good.
So it's over an hour, is it?
I think we're well over an hour and 20 now.
Wow.
And we've got one more question. So Flight Amber is asking if you do 10 scale figures for crawlers. So we do not.
No.
I believe Reese, who works at Hobbyman, and his I think his page is a very nice Instagram page actually. So he sold some of these figures, I think mostly from eBay, from memory.
Right.
And they're really cool. And then it chops the heads and put different
customized.
expressions. It does a bit of a does customize a bit. But yeah, so we don't have 10 scale figures. I think Dragon, from memory.
Dragon usually make bigger ones.
They do the 10 scale figures.
They do as well
for the crawler.
Oh,
I'm
really?
pretty sure it's Dragon actually. I discovered recently.
Yep.
They're quite costly.
Yep.
And they've got a big range actually of scale figures.
They're all jointed and things, I
Yes,
assume.
jointed
A little
and-
action figure.
That's right. Yeah. So
All right.
that's it. So
Good stuff.
Very good.
We looked at a bit of everything, didn't we, today?
Today was very. We thought we didn't have much to say, but ended up being quite comprehensive.
It's one of our longest ones.
Probably.
Yeah.
So if there's no more questions, I guess we're gonna let you go to your weekend.
Yeah. I mean, if there's anything, look, we can always run out to the shop and grab something. That's always on offer. Any specific questions, we'd like to try and answer them.
That's right.
We'll give them a go.
Absolutely. So as usual, we release a video every day on YouTube with any kind of unboxing,
Yep.
reviews, tutorials
Yes.
of any kind. So
Yep.
today there was a really good one. They
That's
went up
right.
on this brand new release of a Tamiya kit.
Yeah. So at midday it went live.
Yep.
So it's the unboxing of the new 48 scale Phantom F4B. So have a look at that. And as we've discovered, they'll be coming along quite soon,
So
next
the
week.
or so. So that was a very exclusive actual review
Mm.
for us because the kit is not yet for sale.
That's right.
So first preview. So thank you to Tamiya Australia for giving us this opportunity.
Yes, thank you.
And as always, follow us on social media during the week. So Facebook, Instagram,
And
and
Twitter.
Twitter. So drop a message if you would like to see anything on the following week. So we do a live every Friday at 2 p.m.
That's right.
And so just let us know what you would like to see. We'll try to make it happen.
For sure. Always try.
Exactly. So very good. Everyone, thank you for watching.
Yep. Thanks again.
Have a good weekend.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.